Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you a continuation of this God of War 3 Chaos Difficulty video walkthrough. And from the last video, we took off from mentioning a really good use of foreground. This is it. That thing, when you're running around before you go near that ballista, is part of the foreground and it isn't moving. And then when you trigger it, it climbs out of the foreground, and I just thought it was sexy, really sexy. But the first part of this fight is an absolute pussy. If you do square square triangle and repeat, you will stun lock him and he can't do a thing. So just do this until you get the prompt on the screen to rip him a new one, basically. And then once you do that, it comes to the second stage of the fight, because we've cut his tail off and now he's standing on he's standing on his two legs now, as opposed to four. And the best way to do this is to keep your distance from him, because he will storm after you and do a two-punch combo. It involves fire, so I don't think you can block it, as you've just seen. And he's basically going to chase you down. And he does that triple flyer breath as well, and you can't block that either. So the best thing to do is just keep as much distance from him as you can. Hit him with a couple of cheeky moves, or just use your bow like I'm doing and just roll evade. And as soon as the circle comes up, grab him, and he'll come into the third form, which is another bit of a bad form, because he'll jump about either firing fire at you or dashing into you, doing like a bull-gore move. So just watch what he does. And yeah, fuck me, did you see what I just did then? Because I'm pushing the analogues in so I can activate my Rage of Sparta, I accidentally deactivate it, waste half the bar. So be careful when that happens, because it will fuck you up like it did me just then. But in this form, you can do the bow when he's at any kind of distance, but just keep watching him, because if he charges at you or hits you with the fire, it does a ton of damage. And I'm just using the camera to keep him pinned. And every time I go near him, I try and at least do the square square triangle to just do some more damage. Whenever he does the fire, there are a couple of seconds where he doesn't move afterwards while he's still in the animation of doing the attack. So take advantage of that and just watch out for how he moves. And as soon as you see the circle, the fight is over. But it's a three-stage fight, and every time you fight these dudes, it's the exact same. So if you fought him with no trouble, you'll fight all of them with not much trouble. And then you have to come over here, pull this back, and hit Helios as he goes past on his chariot. And the timing on this is a little funny, but once you understand it, it's a gut thing. And there you go. And now it's just a case of getting to him and making his day a misery. So now that's been done, this Titan's going to climb over here and he's going to destroy the city, so we can get to the next section. And it involves using the harpy mechanic that the game introduced to us in the last video. It's nice and simple. You just have to cross a chasm by using 3 or 4 harpies, and it's just round this corner. So run round here. You'll notice that that's been demolished now that he stepped on it, and this little cutscene insinuates exactly what the game wants you to do, so it's not difficult. So fire your bow at him to get his attention. He'll swing across over to you. Watch out for that. That is an attack, but for the most time he doesn't hurt you, as long as he doesn't hit you, obviously. And then just do this when you see that the other harpies illuminated. Jump to them. You don't have to press anything other than, I think, X. It's nice and simple, it's not complicated. And then as soon as you're across here, you're safe. And you've got another few of these dudes. And the first thing you'll notice is I've got this weapon on, and I didn't mean to put it on. I explained why that happens in the last video if you're interested and you've not seen it, but it's bullshit. And anyway, so these guys are dead simple. You'll notice when I'm bouncing them, it's gradually pushing them over the edge. That's a nice cheeky way of killing them quicker than the game lets you. But this is not a tough fight. If you manage to do the fight with the centaur and these guys, this fight's going to be a piece of cake. Now you don't have to worry about a leader. And then just finish them off. And over there are a health chest for you if you're running low on anything, and a couple of smashable pots. So do your thing. And yeah, the aspect ratio is way off on when I record from my PS3, and I don't know why. I don't change the settings on my PVR, but it makes rendering these videos a pain in the ass. It also makes the preview run super slow because it makes my computer chug. But once you've done that, pull the grate open and grab this bomb plant or bomb brazier or whatever the hell is it, cauldron of weeds and explosives, because you can use this as a lovely implemented explosive device. And I push it down there, and as all the dudes run around the corner, if you fire at it, it'll blow up and it'll kill a ton of guys. So run around here, trigger the fight. I don't think I quite triggered it then. The camera needs to look at them for them to attack. Has that triggered it? There you go, that's your tripwire, that's your spawn. Back up, charging this. Wait for them to come around the corner, and then use that to clear out a few of them. You don't have to, it's just a creative way of trying to kill some people. I didn't kill that many that time, but yeah, well. And just watch out for them, because they are pretty quick, and there's a couple that are armoured and there's a couple that are not. And all that really does is it stops you from being able to spam the grab, because it's pretty much inevitable that you're going to grab one of the guys you can't grab, and it's going to fuck you up, and you're going to get attacked. So just be careful. And just take your time. And if you can get them stunned, you can spam the L1 and square move where he flails the blades in a circle, and just keep doing that because it's a juggle move. And it's not that powerful, it just delivers a ton of hits in rapid succession, so it's pretty useful for crowds. A good example of when that move becomes really useful is against the scorpions that spawn when you're trying to take on the giant scorpion boss. Because that boss is bullshit. But once again, just kill the dudes, bathe stone floors in blood, and just carry on through this corridor. So have a see what we've got here. More pots to smash. And another one of the red orb chests. So I'm at about 5,000, close to 6,000 orbs. So I should be able to upgrade something pretty soon, and if you've been saving them like I have, you will be also. And I'm kind of on the fence with upgrades on this game, because the game tells you that it does more damage when you upgrade them, but I really don't know. Sure, you get new moves which are invaluable, you get new combos, you get new features, maybe an extended magic attack where you get to tap circle and things. But for instance, there's a guy called Chimera, and he's really good at these kind of games, and he does all the kind of really crazy, fucking absolutely insane runs with no upgrades, no magic, no anything basically. He practically uses one button and plays with his foot, and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And when you watch him do the sections of this game on Chaos, because once I did my guide, I always like to look and see what the competition for my video is like. Obviously I'm not egocentric enough to think that I'm going to be competing with these people that have got 30,000 views, because my channel's tiny at the moment, and that's why I'm doing this, to try and change that. But he uses the weapons, he uses the blades, he uses the Nemean Cesters, and when he's attacking stuff, aside from some of the bigger enemies, especially some of the bosses, it almost seems like it takes the same amount of damage to get anywhere. And a good example of this is the Scorpion, because when I get to the Scorpion on this playthrough, I think I max out the Nemean Cesters. And obviously in his run, he doesn't upgrade anything. So it's a level 1 Nemean Cesters, and those legs take the exact same amount of armor with mine at max level as they do with his at level 1. And I don't know if that's just a preset of it being a boss fight where they take a certain amount of damage to, you know, get to the next section, like the old Mario syndrome of do it 3 times and win. I don't know if it is that, but... And by no way am I trying to say what he's done is lesser than what it is, because it is nothing short than spectacular, but it almost seems like the upgraded power to your weapons isn't that obvious or that apparent. I still say upgrade your stuff, unless you want to do one of those crazy runs. Them runs are really fun and really rewarding, but they are really going to test your mettle as a gamer, because they are about as hardcore as it gets. And this is your first fight with an Ogre, and he's... he looks a lot prettier than he used to do, thanks to the lovely PS3 engine. but he's exactly the same, and if you've played a God of War, he does the same moves. He does the kick, he leans back, he does the ground punch, and he does the triple swing. And aside from that, he's pretty simple. A word of warning though, when there's more than one of them, because they're so powerful, it can be a little bit more challenging. But this guy's a fairy when he's on his own, so kick his ass. And once you've done that, you'll get to ride him, and then he shatters the shield of soldiers with the Onk's shields, and you get to finish him off by pulling his eye out, because Kratos is a lovely man. And that dude's got probably the longest optical nerve ever. And then just finish off the Legionnaires, and once you've done that, you get to face Helios. But don't worry, it's not a boss fight. It's the most anticlimactic conflict ever. But it is kind of cool. And watch these guys, because they are tougher, they are a lot more aggressive on Chaos. They will all attack you feverishly if you let them. But you can block every move, so just don't panic, don't get impatient, just wait for them to do what they're doing, try and time it, and then throw it back at them. And here he is, this is Helios. He's seen better days, I'm sad to say. And because he's got the giant, pale, bald, angry man bearing down at him like the Angel of Death, he's probably not going to live much longer. But what he does is, this guy is, I think he's the god of the sun, I'm not too sure, something to do with the sun. Hence the Helios. And he tries to blind you. And you have to use the analog to control Kratos' hand to shield his eyes from his blinding gaze. And it's not too bad. I don't know actually if you can fail it, because I've never failed it. It's just a test of patience more than anything, because it's one of those weird, iterative moments in the gameplay. And once you've done that, you're going to pull his head off, which is fun. And then you're going to use him as basically a secret finder. He's going to be a lens of truth, if any of you are Zelda fans. And I hope all of you are Zelda fans, because Zelda is fucking legendary. And as you can see, you've got to get it towards his head and keep it there, but it does wobble about a little bit. So it takes a couple seconds to get to him, and then it's just torture time. Check the... Oh, he's cruel. Just stomps his ass. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin used to, back when wrestling were good. Speaking of told Steve Austin, I've just got one of the straight-to-DVD action movie epics. And it's called something ridiculous like Hunt to Kill. And it looks like the biggest piece of shit ever, but I love how stupid and dumb like that when it comes to action films featuring wrestlers. Obviously, I don't think they're in any way good films. I just think they're so dumb, they're enjoyable. And I'm hoping this one is as well. And I had a little flick through it, and it looks like it's got a bit more story than I was expecting. Because I watched, is it The Condemned? Which is another one we told Steve Austin. And that film was fucking ridiculous and dumb, but by God was it enjoyable. It had bad acting everywhere, it had ridiculous fight scenes and just cliches upon cliches, but it was still enjoyable. And I'm hoping this one will be as well. But from the looks of it, it's doing the whole cliffhanger scenario where he's been hired, I think, to guide some dudes through a wood or through some forests, like a mountaineering guide or something, and they're going to turn on him for whatever reason, and he's going to be out in the wilderness and have to, you know, stop them from doing bad things and shit. But it should be really funny. But that's the end of that video, guys, so thanks for watching, and you take care.